Kerts versus Marcop, folks. It's me, Jimothy. This is going to be a good one. Marcop, also known as Gilbert Arenas, on Showdown. Both of these players lost last round from the upper brackets. Marcop lost to Mana, and Kerts lost to Fradazi. Now they face off against each other for their tournament lives. The loser of this is out. What a world. And two slightly unorthodox leads, Swampert and Aero, both switching out. You'd think the Swampert might stay in, but no. Kerts just wants to get Fori on the field as soon as possible, but forced out by Jirachi. And brings it, that was 4 back-to-back switches to begin this one. On Kerts' side. And they've both traded spikes. We'll see if Gilbert, also known as Marcop, has a Gengar to spin block, which would be great into Fortress, wouldn't it? Does indeed. Kerts does not play into it, goes for the layer instead. Wary of it, precisely this. And spikes again, that's a bold move. Gengar could have Will-O-Wisp or Fire Punch. Well, the third layer is going to be massive. And that Tar has Fire Blast on it and a Leftovers, so we can assume Pursuit Tyranitar. Kerts gonna go for the Torrent Boosted Surf, which does considerable damage. Not quite KOing though. I don't know if this is the right move for Kerts. There's a damn Aerodactyl. You'd need this Swampert desperately. So you better have something else of us, this Aerodactyl, otherwise you might get eaten alive here. Kerts goes to Tyranitar. What kind of Tyranitar are we looking at? It's got Leftovers on. Of course it's a Pursuit Tar, that makes sense with Fortress. That's the standard. Sometimes it's not Pursuit Tar with Fori. You either have a Pursuiter elsewhere or some other Gengar plan, but no. Standard stuff from Kerts here. And there's a Flygon from Marco as the Rock Resist. Kerts with a Gengar of his own. And this Jirachi, it's... oh dear, I was about to say it's vulnerable to Will-O-Wisp. Probably does not have Psychic either. It's probably a defensive Jirachi, as shown by that Fire Punch. Gengar gonna go for it again though, no problem. I mean, that's a great move. Gengar got burned here. 20% chances, of course. But still not a bad trade. Not a bad exchange for Kerts. I mean, this Jirachi is a very, very important defensive piece for Marcop. And now it's burned. One of the few ways to actually bring Jirachi down. Oh, and that crit certainly makes up for it. I think Jirachi had a chance to live that. Depends on the exact EV spread, but Jirachi generally quite bulky. Aero is now in on this Fortress. Fortress goes for a rapid spin, might as well. No more spikes to make. Probably nothing to chip Gengar then. No Zap Cannon or HP Ghost. I would imagine a standard option like HP Bug, Earthquake, or perhaps Counter on the Fortress and then Explosion as a last move. Is this Pursuit going to be successful? It is. A bit of a mix-up there between Pursuit or Stay. You know? But got some crucial damage on that Gengar. It's very low now on 11% of its health. Gengar going to pivot in on this Flygon. Forcing it out. Flygon can protect though to rack up burn chip damage. Salamence comes in on the protect turn, question mark? Yes. Good maneuver by Kerts there. Not only weakening Flygon, but getting Salamence in a pretty nice position. Gonna get threaten a Dragon Claw, which is all of Flygon's health almost. At the cost of getting Toxic. Is that another worthy exchange? A bit of an interesting one. Salamence is an important threat, but you've brought Flygon almost to its demise. Kerts is almost out of healthy threats though. Gengar's burns. Tyranitar's damn low. Not really a threat anyway, it's Pursuit Tar, but it can deal some damage. But not for much longer. And now Salamence is poisoned. Oh, went for the HP that time. Nice move by Marcop. The straightforward Rock Slide, because of course Gengar would fall to HP Bug plus Sand Chip. Nice mix-ups from Marcop. Okay. Flygon pivots in that time. Gengar doesn't seem to have a great way to hit Forretress then, and actually gets the Rapid Spin at the cost of a Flamethrower though. Interesting option on Flygon here, Flamethrower. Supposed to hit Skarmory. Very useful in this matchup against the Forretress. Way more effective against Forretress than it is Skarmory. Sorry folks, Discord notification. It's Calm Mind Blissey. Okay, that might be exactly what Kerts needs. Another sort of form of offense. And goes for Thunderbolt there. Flygon pivots in on its last legs on 17%. Can't stay here though. Gonna Toxic at the cost of its life. Not a worthy trade for Marcop. Not very good. Gengar can explode here. I mean, that's a desperate times call for desperate measures. The Toxic will force out Blissey eventually, but that's damn rough. And just goes for an Ice Beam. Not afraid of an Explode or whatever. Maybe just on top of the mind game there. Huge. Okay, this Calm Mind Blissey is looking very well positioned, but to be honest, Marcop's error could make a miracle happen. Remember, Kerts has a very low health Swampert that can't check Arrow very well, and the rest of the team vulnerable to Rock Slide spam, as we can see. Kerts is playing this very fearlessly, not worried about this poisoned Blissey slowly dying, just wants to be proactive, and then actually gets a really good exchange there, healing up and then getting roared out, natural curing itself. I think Marcop expected Blissey to exit manually, but no, a heal, and the roar did it for him. That was pretty game-winning, to be honest. The last threat is this arrow. Clean Tar Sack, you don't need it anymore. And maybe Swampert can heal up now. Yeah, it's going to live a Rock Slide. From 25. It's taking so many spikes, though, on the way in. Surf is a good click, though, into both Gengar and Skarmory. It will finish off. And Swampert will get a couple chip heals in the mix. Looks to be Ice Punch as the click. Explode could happen now. Gonna sack Forretress. We can't see what Gengar clicked because the turn didn't happen. And this is a good move, actually. The guaranteed Blissey entry, because Gengar, the only way to deal with Blissey is to explode. An Arrow can't come in and take an Ice Beam or Thunderbolt. So that guarantees a KO in this Gengar, and then I think Kerts has got it. I think Swampert is healthy enough after coming in and chip healing to live the Rock Slide. You can actually even hit him with Salamence, exactly. Because Aerodactyl's the last Pokemon, so that makes it even safer. You can even sacrifice Gengar, get another Intimidate. It's exactly what Kerts is going to do to guarantee victory. The only thing that could get Kerts now is a critical hit on Rock Slide, which is very unlikely. But never say never. And now the final, the Swampert. It started off this game on turn 1, and here it is finishing the job. That should cleanly live, unless a miracle happens. Marcop gets multiple flinches and crits in a row. A measly 9%, and Surf goes through, taking out Aerodactyl. Swampert losing so much health early on felt so dangerous into Arrow, but Kerts managed to find a path in this battle. I think the winning play was probably that Forretress sack to get the Blissey in. Was really, I didn't even see that, but that's damn true. Because there's no good option for Marcop after that. You go Arrow, you die. You explode with Gengar. It's not good either. Another Swampert lead from Kerts, and another unorthodox Moltres lead from Marcop in Game 2. Both forced out. Moltres and Celebi. Nice Fire Grass combo. Leech Seed applying some pressure to this Blissey. Gonna create sand on the field with Tyranitar. And that was Hidden Power Fire. A predictive move from Marcop, throwing out a jab in case like a Skarmory comes in. It could be possible. And Kerts staying. Is this HP Bug? No, Crunch. Another Pursuit Tar from Kerts. Is this the same exact team? It could be the same team. You know, a lot of players are wary to bring the same team twice, but it can be a good move if you just feel comfortable with it. Surprise value can be overrated sometimes. You know, everybody knows what Fortress TSS does. It doesn't matter if your enemy knows your team or not, really, because it's a fundamentally solid concept. You just gotta execute. And it is indeed the same team, the Fortress TSS again. And it's... maybe Marcop didn't expect the same team twice. And on the back foot a bit here in this early game. Celebi's quite low. It looks like a one of those Leech See-Through attack Celebis. A mash dodge is nice. But of course Swampert would have shrugged that off pretty well. Makes up for the dodge with an attack raise into Fortress. Are we going to see if this has counter or not? I would imagine it's hard to fit that. Probably Explosion and HP Bug. It had HP Bug last game. We're going to get a layer on the field though. Going to Explode. And damn, this Metagross is a threat. With agility and the attack raise up its sleeve. We're going to see a Explosion into Swampert. No. Now it's a mind game. Do you explode on the Protect or just attack? On Marcop's side, you just attack. Kerts on top of it. Does not get blown up, although Swampert is quite low. But this is recoverable. No spikes on the field on Kerts' side, so not much pressure into Swampert, and Chip Heal will rack up. Doesn't choose to Chip Heal there though. Goes to Blissey proactively. Getting ahead of the mind game a bit, so no predictive Brick Break from Marcop there, no. Forcing out Salamence. Nicely done. This one layer is adding up. I'll pivot in on Toxic. Maybe expecting Earthquake there, but Toxic, same thing. It's an attempt to hit the Blissey, both of which Gengar can thwart. A nice pivot into Moltres on the Will-O-Wisp. Good move. If Moltres has Overheat, Gengar is forced out here. Does indeed play around it. Just a Flamethrower instead, but a nice burn on Blissey there. Applying a bit more pressure. Blissey probably just going to heal. Not the most impactful burn in the world, but a little bit more damage for Marcop. Blissey obviously just heals this now. Most of that health recovered by the Soft Boiled, so not a super impactful bit of luck. Marcop glad for the extra damage, I'm sure. Tyranitar gets in on Snorlax. It is Pursuit-Tar, so it's only threatening this with Crunch. But you probably just gotta... oh, it is Brick Break, actually, as the final move, a common option. True. Salamence can come in pretty nicely here. Threatening Brick Break and no great switch in for Marcop. I think you just do a straightforward Brick Break. Because you can respond with coverage for almost everything else. Looks like a potential speed tie, or maybe Marcop's Gengar is a bit fast. Sorry, Salamence is a bit faster. Brings Gengar in on the Salamence to force it out once, taking a Dragon Claw. So Gengar's limited HP coming down. But worth it in Kerts' mind in the short term to force that out and play around the potential of Brick Break too. On Kerts' incoming Blissey. Both players with a mixed Salamence, both wanting to mind game each other with it. Swampert forced out by this HP Grass. Marcop could leverage this for some momentum if he manages to get his own Salamence in successfully on the HP Grass, but Kerts could also be on top of that and go for the Dragon Claw. Marcop chooses instead to sacrifice Celebi, which is a bit safer. Celebi's low anyway. And this will guarantee a safe entry to Salamence. No, Moltres comes in. And Moltres, it looks to be timid Moltres. It's faster. Maybe it has Hidden Power Ice. No, it has Toxic. But Kerts played around Hidden Power Ice. And gets brought down a bit lower with the Blissey. It's Toxic Protect Moltres, which is a good set. I like this set. It is quite threatening to Blissey, actually. Now, Blissey in an awkward spot. Does it want to exit? Probably wants to heal. But the poison is ticking down. This is a pretty even game. Looks like Kerts has to sack Swampert here. Rough thing to do. Blissey forced out and nothing loves coming in on Moltres. Protect, of course. And Marcop gets Salamence in on the Protect, applying a lot of pressure to everything on Kerts' team right now. Look at it. All vulnerable to the right Mix-Ments click. Dragon Claw does big neutral damage to Gengar. Brick Break will threaten Blissey. And of course HB Grass will threaten Swampert. Gengar comes in almost dead now on 11%. So it can't do that ever again. But okay, Kerts with a double back to Salamence and forcing out enemy Swampert now. This is just an absolute Mix-Ments bout. Nice chip on the Moltres. Another one of those and it's dead to sand. Blissey comes in on the Toxic again. I wonder if Kerts will try to bring something in to threaten Moltres on the Protect turn, or if Marcop will be on top of it. Marcop looks to double to Swampert here. Successfully coming in on a Thunderbolt. Blissey can heal, though, against this. Chooses to just exit into his own Swampert and gets Toxic in the... Beautiful Toxic. Calling out a switch. Probably hoping to catch the Salamence, but you'll take the Swampert too. Of course, the Swampert could have chip-healed back, so just get rid of that. That allows Kerts back into Salamence. It looked bad for Marcop, but Marcop is keeping this damn close. Moltres comes in successfully on the HB Grass. It will live a Dragon Claw here. And Toxic. Well, dies to sand, but it Toxic first. Now Kerts' most important threat is poisoned. And can be stalled out. It's also forced out directly. Blissey cannot survive a Brick Break now. Brick Break is going to deal 40. I think Marcop is playing this excellently at the moment. Can Kerts come back? It is theoretically possible with... Well, a crit helps there. Although, I mean, Mix-Ments threatens to KO that anyway. Well, the damage is relevant there because it earned a 2-hit KO. But Marcop is also threatening Blissey right now. Goes for the Brick Break. Oh, but Gengar comes in and I think that's it, actually. I think Kerts has got it. I think I misread the situation. I forgot how good this Gengar was in this final little end game here. Because you can just blow up on the Snorlax. Well, there you go. You know that Ice Beam crit was a bit lucky? It depends on what the Gengar had. It may have had HP Grass. Probably not. It was probably the last move Thunderbolt. That would be the most likely. So the biggest thing that Kerts needed to get rid of to secure this game with Gengar was actually that Swampert. Which was pretty rough to actually break through. The Spike was chipping it down slowly, but it had a good chip heal. Very sturdy Pokemon. It got a bit bailed out by that Ice Beam crit. Other than that, this was a really interesting back and forth game. With very similar teams. Marcops did not have spikes though. But they were both hinging on the mixed Ments. Marcops was faster. I like the fast Toxic Moltres. That's really interesting in the lead. I wonder what that's aiming to hit. Forcing out Metagross and Skarmory. Maybe you want a Toxic Water types? Could that be worth it somehow? With some line I'm not seeing? It's interesting. Moltres generally does not have great lead matchups. But maybe actually Salamence you can lure it and get an early game Toxic against it as they think that they are advantaged. Well, folks, thanks for watching. Thanks for donating. And I'll catch you later. Kerts progresses and Marcop is out. What a what. See ya.